Howdy folks, we're off to do a tourist activity. We're at the Rotorua Duck Tours. Rotorua Duck Tours is an amphibious craft that takes us out onto the lake. And here we've got them here, parked here ready to be loaded. We're all paid, filled in all the paperwork to absolve them of any responsibility in case we drown. So that's what we've got, guys. So when we get going, I'll bring you back.
There's always the slimmest chance 84-year-old GMC duck built in 1942. So when you're that old, there's always a possibility something might fall off, right? Now, it can happen on the road, it can happen in the water. Let's start with the road, that's the easy one. I yell at you guys to get off this machine. Where's your emergency exit? What?
That one.
Like I said, I'm not worried about my
Have you guys actually
safety.
looked out the window? It's a long way down, right?
I could get out in an emergency.
Prove it.
It's not an emergency
No,
yet.
guys, in Rotorua we have this thing called staying calm. If you do that, you can all follow me up that rear stairwell we boarded. Sound much easier?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're sort of right. What if we're on the lake? There's water in this aisle. I'm up here crying inconsolably. It's not looking good. Where's your emergency exit then? Come on, say it with confidence.
After we get one of those,
After you get one of those.
yes, we then.
Did you pay the $10 surcharge?
No, but I was very
Well, then
nice.
you're not touching my
I was
jackets.
very nice to the person who checked me in. They said go for it.
Oh, no, they didn't. The only way I know you paid your surcharge is my pocket's nice and full. Just don't tell the boss I charge surcharges. Dead right, guys. We're going to grab a life jacket and we're going to dive straight out that window. Sound good?
Yep. There he
Well, that
goes.
explains it. Drop down there. There we are. Don't panic, people.
Where did you get?
Isn't that the name of the city? Rotorua? Huh. So is it the city or the lake that has rightful ownership to that name? Does anybody know? Anyone? The lake, you reckon? Spot on. Gold star for you. Now the reason we know this, guys, is that Rotorua means lake. Rua means two or second. So it's simply known as lake number 2 or the second lake. I'm going to be honest, this is not actually Rotorua's full name. No, that's just what we call it. Its full name was actually given by a Māori explorer by the name of Ehinga. Now, he named it Te Rotorua Nui Kahu Mata Momoi. That's a long name, right? So what exactly does that translate to in English? Got to be honest, it's kind of sweet. It basically means the second lake I discover, I dedicate to my uncle. That was nice of him, right? Yeah. So what I want to do is help you out. I want to share my world famous relaxation technique with you. You guys want to give it a shot?
Why not?
Both feet firmly on the floor. Wiggle those bottoms into the back of the seat so your back is hard against the backrest, stretching those lungs. Now on the count of 3, we're going to take a nice deep breath in through our nose. 1, 2, 3. Woo. I'm feeling good. What about you guys? You feeling good?
Yep.
Yeah? No one smells anything a little unusual? Yeah. I'm going to let you in on a secret. There's an 80% chance that smell is coming from the right-hand side of the duck. Unfortunately, there's a 20% chance the person behind you, beside you, in front of you, they relax just a tad too much. We're not going to play that game. We're going to go with the right-hand side. So I'm going to slow the duck up here a little bit, guys, and what I want you to do, look at the colour of the water, especially out a bit further. Does that look normal? It's a real white, creamy colour, right? Very strange. So why is it like this? Well, this area of Lake Rotorua is known as Sulphur Bay. At the bottom, geothermal activity. Now that hot water has been forced up through the floor of the lake, bringing with it sulfur as well as silica. Now that's what's being suspended in the water out here, changing it to the strange colour we're seeing today. Now what you're smelling, two main gases, hydrogen sulfide and sulfur dioxide, giving Rotorua that lovely rotten egg smell she's famous for. But guys, this is actually extremely good news. Does anyone know why? No? Really? Oh. Come on guys, we're one of the only cities in the world you can fart and get away with it. It's fantastic. Why do you think we're so relaxed here in Rotorua? Alright, here we are guys. This is our beautiful lake, Rotorua. One of 18 lakes we have in the Rotorua region. 18. We're spoilt for choice, right? She's the biggest lake. She is also the second biggest lake. Wait, did that make any sense? It didn't mind you. Let me explain. She fights with another lake by the name of WWII. Now, WWII, directly over the hill in front of us here by about 15 minutes. Now, it depends which stat I use to which lake is bigger. So if I use the stat land mass covered, Lake Rotorua here is our biggest lake. But if I change that stat to water volume, Lake WWII is actually bigger. Now the reason that is, guys, is WWII has an average depth of 57 metres. This lake out here, just 10 metres. It is incredibly shallow. In fact, if I got this lovely gentleman up the front here to roll him off my duck and we all said, you can take a walk, you'd have the last laugh. There are places in this lake you can walk out more than 500 metres and you'd still be able to turn around, give me a nice big smile and a wave. It's only up to your waist, all right? Incredibly shallow. In fact, some of the local Māori will tell you, if you know the way, you can walk to the island. But we still use that water today, guys. We pump it out. It used to go to the bathhouse. Doesn't go there today. It's now re-diverted right there. Now where you can see all the steam, that's the cooling and filtration pools for our Polynesian spa. Now they pump in that 100+ degree water, they cool it down to anywhere between 33 and 42 degrees Celsius before they pump it into the main pools. A top 10 spa in the world? I know that because I just saw the sign on the front door. See? It's something every day. No guys, we've been commercially bathing on this site. Commercially bathing on this site since around 1878. Almost 150 years. So she has a rich history here in Rotorua. Guys! Check it out, it's one of those World War II ducks. You don't see those every day, do you? It's one of those even rarer things. Tourists. Yeah. Quite a range of them too. Big, small, hats on. So in the space of World War II, some 21,000 of these ducks were constructed. Sadly today, there are less than 1,000 of them still around. Now if they weren't destroyed during the war, guys, they were melted down for their steel shortly after. Oh wait, what? What's going on here? Oh, why didn't somebody tell us? Sorry guys, it looks like we've got a major problem out here this morning. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've completely run out of road. That's a lot of water out there, right? So I guess that can only mean one thing. Who's ready to risk it all?
Well, if you get wet.
Yeah, you are? Well, if you're ready to risk it all, I'm ready to risk you. All right. Yeah, you're welcome. Now, I don't want to talk about what happened yesterday, so please don't ask. But I'm a little nervous, so I'm just going to pop on a bit of calming music, if that's all right with you guys. Here we go. Over. No backing out now, guys. Anyway guys, welcome to the Blue Lake, Tiki Tapu, as the Māori call her. Now she's one of our smaller lakes in the region. She's also one of our highest, at around 419 metres above sea level. But it's not just a lake we're swimming in here. Does anyone know what it actually is? Alright guys, we're going to head back up the ramp. Yeah, a little bit of a bump as we hit it, nothing too major. Now once I am up the ramp, I am going to be turning the duck off for just a moment. What I have to do is follow a Rotorua by law. Now that is to check my running gear and hull, just to make sure it's nice and clean, but I haven't picked up any nasty weed. We're not taking it from one way to the next, to the next, to the next. It's going to take me about a minute, we'll be back underway. Just like that, guys, we once again a truck.
That's a nice.
Right, instant replay time, back in the lake. If you're sitting up the back, you might want to lift your legs. It tends to come over the back like a tsunami, so you might want to watch that. No, I changed my mind. Nice and clean. Hopefully your bums are nice and clean. We can head off. Was that a guilty laugh?
Yeah, but no.
Sheesh, I'm a bit worried about you. Alright. Let's head off to our very next lake, shall we?
Yeah.
What do they say in the movies, guys? If you're not first, you're last. Alright. Alrighty guys, well here we are at our very next lake. Okay. I guess there's only question left to ask. Who's ready for splashdown number 2?
Why not?
Alright, if not, just tuck and roll out the window guys, I can pick you up on the way back. No problems. Oh wait. Biosecurity, what? Oh, that's right, I remember reading about this in the papers. Have I got any Australians on board?
No.
Oh, that's lucky. Yeah, no, they don't want pests on the lake, so if you were Australian, I was going to have to ask you to get off.
I don't see
Sorry.
Aussie on Not at all.
Alright, so you guys ready? Yep. Alright, well let's give the ducky a tickle. Now this is a pretty epic lake, guys. I think we've got to go with some pretty epic music.
We don't need music.
Here we go. She is also a volcanic crater, although she last saw action around 21,000 and 13,500 years ago, leaving her roughly in the shape we're seeing today. Now, there was some minor activity around 6,000 years ago, but it didn't change the shape of the lake as we know it today. Now, both these lakes we're visiting today highly used in regard to recreation. So we do everything on them, right? So we swim, we jet bike, we water ski, we whistle, we wake the paddleboard, we kayak, we windsurf, we skinny dip, you name it, we do it on these lakes. This lake, well, she does have one trump card over the blue. If you're a keen fisherman, you can come here and fish for both the rainbow and brown trout. Now, of course, these fish are not native to New Zealand, they were introduced. But that's not the interesting part. The interesting part, because our lakes have very few inlets and outlets, there's nowhere for these fish to spawn. So how do we keep our lakes nice and stocked and our anglers happy? Well, every year we hatch around 80,000 trout. Hatcheries here in Rotorua as well as south of Rotorua. Now this lake, Hanukkah, she gets between 5,000 and 6,000 of those trout every single year. Lake Rotorua, which is out to our right behind the hill here, 16,000 trout. Again, that seems to keep our fishermen nice and happy. In fact, the fishing on these two lakes is outstanding. But it's a beautiful spot, guys. Really quiet, no noise pollution, very little light pollution. It's absolutely gorgeous. Well, there is another walk just over the other side of these hills, this hill here, where the houses are. There's a real wetland. You can see a lot of bird life through that area. So if you like that kind of thing, I highly recommend it. Well, this lake is called a Karaka, another Māori name. So you know what's coming now, right?
The definition.
A story. There's just one problem. I don't know it. Are you guys disappointed?
Oh.
Yeah? Not really? No. Pretty good. 10 minutes of awkward silence, yeah? Look, guys, I can't stand awkward silence. I tell you what I'll do. I'll do what I do best. I'll just make up a story. I mean, I've been doing it this whole time. I don't even know why I said anything. Have a look out to the left. You see this little hill here? Now, if you follow it all the way around, you see these beautiful homes, and it finishes at the big hill to the right. This is actually a spit that comes all the way out to the middle of the lake. So the water we see here is only around a third of the lake. The rest of it is actually straight out over the back here, right? Now, the Tuawarangi, that sub-tribe I mentioned on the Blue Lake, well, they had a small settlement on this hill as well. One of the reasons they settled here is they found all the land around the lake was nutrient rich. Now, they could grow their crops in absolute abundance with the greatest of ease. Now, one of those vegetables they grew, the sweet potato, the kumara. Now, that is what the lake is actually named after, the growing of kumara in the area. So to translate of Karaka to English, well, it basically means place of sweetness, or as some people might refer to it as the place of sweet food. But I do point that house out for a very good reason, guys. She's actually the very first home built here at Lake Karaka. Built in 1920, she's 106 years old this year. But she wasn't built by locals. No, she was actually built by an out-of-town explorer that came here in the 1900s. Now, once he found this spot, he was instantly in love. Bought up a fair chunk of this land, building that very first home. The locals, however, they thought he was nuts. You're crazy. No one wants to live at Lake Karaka. That place is garbage. Now, does that story make much sense? Garbage. Why would the locals call this area garbage? Well, guys, back in the early 1900s, this whole area you're seeing now just didn't look like this. It was still recovering from the massive volcanic eruptions of Tarawera in 1886. And that volcano is just over the back of the hill here from us. So what he saw, hills covered in mud, dead trees, maybe just the odd new one starting to sprout out. But in general, the area was completely destroyed. So he got the land for an absolute bargain, building that very first home. And as the old saying goes, the sheep soon followed, right? So today we have a population out here of around 900 odd, give or take. Sadly, this only equates to around 40% of the homes. The other 60%, holiday homes. What's even sadder about that is they're only occupied for around, well, 6 weeks of the year. Wouldn't it be nice to own a home that's worth $2.5 million you only use 6 weeks of the year? Wouldn't that be nice? Does anyone know what that's like? No? Oh, you do? Are you looking for a new friend? No, look guys, those are for the houses along the spit we've just passed. You can get a house at Lake Olkarika for just under $1 million. Does it water edge? No. Does it have a view of the lake? Most likely not. But you can get a nice home out here. Now these reeds out here, guys, people often ask, why don't we rip these things out of the lake and have a nice, beautiful lake edge? Well, we're not going to, because this is where our beautiful little birds actually nest, particularly the weirware. Now, the reed itself, well, the Māori used to use it back in the day. They would rip it out of the lake, dry it out, and they would actually use it for insulation for their small bunnies, their homes. But the plant also produces a cotton. Now that cotton is used in the making of Māori boys. Now if you're not sure what a boy is, well, if you've been to a Māori concert, you'll notice the women are swinging a ball on a bit of string. That's a boy. Now back in the day, they were much heavier, made from this cotton. Today, they're just made from screwed up paper. Now why did they want them to be so heavy back in the day? Well, they were actually strengthening their wrists. The men would use them as well. That's so when they came to use their weapons, such as the patu, the taiaha, their wrists would be nice and strong to wield those weapons. And the skilled warrior, both those weapons are incredibly dangerous. They would split open a human skull very easily. Ah, did anyone see any sharks while we're on the lake? No? Oh, that's good news. That's really good news. It means the shark nets are doing their job. I would love to tell you I'm kidding. I'm not. This long line of white floaty buoys are genuine Australian shark nets. Yeah, we installed them around 2004. Just over 21 years they've been here. Good news, since they were installed, do you know there hasn't been one report of a shark attack on this lake? Not one. There were none prior to them being installed, but that stat still stands. So if there's no sharks on the lake, why would we install shark nets? Well guys, they're actually here to serve a completely different purpose. They are here to protect this lake from a nasty lake weed called hornwort. Now this stuff can go 10 meters off the lake floor. It just chokes out everything else in the lake, destroys the ecosystem, alright? So if a boatie backs his boat down the ramp here, drops a bit of that weed by accident, these nets actually pick it up before it can get out into the main lake, right? We spray them once every 3 to 4 months, killing anything they collect. Now I might have had a bit of a laugh about the biosecurity threat, but we do actually have one, and we've got to take it very seriously. There's a risk of the golden clam getting into our waters. Now it has been found in the Waikato region, that's the area north of Rotorua here. Now this clam, nasty. The reason it's bad is the rate in which it multiplies. 400 a day can come from one clam. Now you imagine that getting into the lake. Before too long, guys, The lake is nothing but broken clamshells. Again, like the boardwalk, completely destroying the ecosystem at the bottom of the lake. So we have to be very, very careful we don't bring that stuff into our lake. Now the way they believe it's being transported is ballast tanks of weight boats. So they go up to the Waikato River, they do a bit of weight breathing, they fill up their ballast tanks to make sure they get a nice big weight. Instead of emptying it, they just load their boats on the trailer, forget about it, come down here, empty that ballast, out comes the clam. So far, that hasn't happened, that's just theory, but that's what we've got to stop, and this is why this is happening. This is only the first stage, guys. The second stage, well, it could be as far as banning all other boats that are not local from our lakes. All right. Alrighty. So once again, guys, just got to do that quick weed check. Again, does anyone need a restroom? No, you doing okay?
Yeah.
Would anyone like to do the weed check for me? No. Gee, thanks for your help, guys. Sorry, still there. Oh well, I'm not back.
Must be expensive stay here.
What?
Must be expensive for here.
Well, that's
That's
what you
close to
said.
lake.
You can get a house here for $1 million, but it won't have a lake view.
Yeah.
It won't be at lakefront. It'll be right up the back somewhere.
Oh. Then if lakefront will be.
I can't drink and drive. Well, I suppose I can.
We won't tell anyone.
It's only illegal when you get caught, isn't it?
Yep.
It's a bit like cheating. It's only cheating if you get caught. All right, let's get out of here. Alrighty. So hopefully you all enjoyed that second splashdown on the beautiful lake of Gunningham. What we're going to do, guys, we're going to head back to the city via the Okonika village, back up on the WWII Road and into the store. We're just around the corner here. Well, I'm hoping I can show you something very important to the local people. In fact, if you're a true local, this thing can call to you like it's saying, come here. Now guys, I spoke to a local Tuarangi elder about this feeling. I've had it most of my life. She told me that if you have that feeling, we believe the ancestors of the past have accepted you as one of their own. And they're inviting you to join them. Nice, I'll be a kid. One of it. What is this thing?
Cemetery.
Well, we're about to find out. Alrighty guys, have a look way out to the right, way up to the distance, and what you're going to see is half of the massive volcano we call WWII. The rest of it goes off to the right behind the hill in the foreground. So across the top of that summit, she actually stretches for more than 5 kilometers, alright? Massive mountain. Now she's around 1,111 meters above sea level, or 829 meters above the lake at her base, also known as WWII. Now what does this body word mean in English? Well, it actually depends on which part of New Zealand you come from. It can actually mean different things. Here in Rotorua, you may hear it being called the burning spear, the burnt peak, or as we correctly know it, the burnt eclipse. Now, why would the Māori call it this? But prior to the eruption on June 10, 1886, the Māori had no idea it was actually a volcano. They looked up at it and simply described what they saw, a long line of cliff that had been burnt at the top. Not a winner. Now, the mountain itself, you are looking at around 20,000 years old. 5 massive eruptions have formed the volcano we're seeing today. Although if you take into consideration her minor activity, she has an eruption cycle of around every 700 years. Now, if you're quickly doing the math in your head and you're thinking to yourself, well, last eruption, 140 years, take away 700, we've got more than 500 plus years up our sleeve. Not a problem. Well, I'm not 100% sure. If you look at the graph of the eruptions, the activity, they are getting closer and closer and closer. Now, the study I've done, guys, I believe that volcano will erupt in the next 100 to 150 years. Am I worried about it? Of course not. I'll be long dead buried and I won't be here to see it. Alright guys, I'm going to get up on top of that.